I'm going to go on here as well and see if it is connected. Where is it? I don't know what I'm doing. Is this working? Why does it take so long? Ah, there you guys are. Hi, everybody. Is that Kirsten, Blue Velvet, Fleur? Hello. G, hey, hon. Yes, I'm live. Hi, Jen. Hi. Wow, now it's all flowing in. Hello, everyone. Hey, Christy, Kiara. Mamta, hello, Mamta from India. Twinkle, my darling. Adelina, Emily, hello. Joey, hi, welcome. Rachel, hello. Question mark, hello all. Hi, everybody. Canada, hey. Anubuti, hello, honey. Oh, thank you, Ellie. How are you doing? Ellie, everyone's here. Tam, Cedric, hello, everyone. Saba, salam, how are you doing, my darling? Chris, hey, Chris, you're here. Severine, this is my sign that you're live. Oh, Karima, thank you, darling. I know, G, oh my God, G, you read my mind, because I was going to say, I was going to be like, I wonder how many people here are from the TikTok days. You know, when I used to do lives on TikTok at like stupid hours. They're like 10 hours long, my live sessions on TikTok, because I couldn't really sleep back then. Oh, thank you, Anubuti. I appreciate you. Hi, Angie. My liner is, what is it, 20? 20? Do you know, I can never get it right, though. Blue Velvet, just talking to you during the last days brought me movement. Thanks for your support. I'm so glad to hear that, Blue Velvet. You've got this, darling. Dreamlight, hello. Welcome. Your first live. Alexis, hello. Karine, hello, darling. Lisa. Love from Ireland, Lisa. Wow, hello. How's it going up in Ireland, actually? You guys getting any sun? Lucia is here as well. Alexis, you're new. Welcome, sweetheart. Shetland pony. I've ridden Shetland ponies when I was growing up. Oh, Michaela, I didn't realize that that's your profile. See, many of you have different names on your YouTube than what I'm used to, so I don't know who's who. So do bear with me. Did you, G? You mentioned that the other. Yeah, do you know what? Because I was thinking about it. I was thinking, I wonder how many. And then I thought, should I do a TikTok as well? Should I do a TikTok and do a TikTok live? And I nearly did one the other day. Yeah, I'm going to put my laptop here because I was a little bit uncertain. You know how I don't want to jinx it, but you know how sometimes you do these live sessions and the chat just stops working. The chat stops working, so I can't see. So I always try to have a backup now, i.e. have my laptop on. So I've put my laptop there in the corner. So let me see, where are you guys? Hello from good old US of A. Yay, yesterday for today. How you doing, babe? Sarah Mayer, how you doing, hon? Karen Walsh. Oh yeah, we've got an appointment, Karen Walsh. We do indeed. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Weather hasn't been too bad. Do you know what? We've been getting sleet showers or something like that as well, Lisa. Angel Storm, Grimble. It was Fanny. Hi, Fanny. You're here from the Discord. Hello, babe. Hi, Cedric. Your first one from Belgium. Thank you so much, Niputa. I appreciate you. Jen. Oh, you're Bartles and Jen. Ah, you see, now I'm recognizing some of your names now from our Discord community. Athena and Coco. Coco is ready to give advice. He's are you here, baby? Do you want to say hello to everybody? Or will you just like taking a nap? Everyone wants to see how you're doing. How you doing? What words of wisdom do you have for everyone? Just to love unconditionally. Okay, that's Coco's words of wisdom. Just love unconditionally and make the most of the small things in life, including all sorts of treats. He's a master at manifesting treats, this one. My kitten is sitting here looking at, Fleur, you got your kitten baby with you. Jen, I'm the one that took your Lord of the Rings reference. Jen, and do you know what? After I made that Lord of the Rings reference in my video, I encountered so many, it's like the algorithm listens to you, isn't it? I'm just getting all these Lord of the Rings posts everywhere. Not that I'm complaining, I love Lord of the Rings. Rage, hi darling. Yeah, is it DJ from the Netherlands? DJ? I don't even know how to pronounce that. I do apologize. But it's lovely to see you from the Netherlands. The doggo is here. So you see Coco now because I because I disturbed him whilst he was comfortable. He's decided to have a little, you know, when they start digging on the sofa. Does anyone have a dog? Why do they do that? It's like he's got to dig first before he actually lays down. Oh, how Christy. So you're on the Discord as well, Christy B. It's good to see you all. Ellie, our little success. Christopher, hello. Coco the Mango is here. Yeah, see? Coco the Mango. He's just looking at me like, don't tell me you've got another name for me. Love from Thailand. Hello. Scorpio Angel, hello, darling. Happy I don't watch live ever, but when I saw Athena is live, I got to see. Oh, you are so sweet. Happy. Welcome, darling. I am happy to have you here. And Christy, it's your first live too, huh? What are you guys drinking, actually? Did you bring yourself a hot drink? You know how we play. I know, Blue Velvet, he is our emotional support. Aren't you, baby? You make such a good emotional support. It's just, you know, when they just look at you, it's just such a blank stare. I wish I could read their minds. Actually, that's what I might start doing. I have been using thought transmission on him, and he's been responding to it. He's been responding to it, but it doesn't work every time yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. Dina from Discord, my crazy cat lady. How you doing, babe? How you been doing? Do you know, I hadn't seen you for a while, actually, Dina. It's funny you said you were quiet there, because I thought so. I was like, is Dina still around? I haven't spoken to you for a bit. And your purple cat on Discord, Angels. You know what? I love that you guys have got like cat names. Magdalena, let's party. Happy Friday. Hello, Red Thread. How you doing? Matthew from New Zealand. Welcome, darling. Kiara's new in the Discord as well. How are you guys finding it? I know that you guys are getting a kick out of the Neville bot. Coco is Athena's best friend. He is. Hello, Lona, my darling, from the UK as well. UK posse in the house. Asmita, love you, Athena. You look radiant. Oh, thank you so much, Asmita. Hello from India, powerful soul. Welcome. NJ, hi, Athena. Do you know what? I think I need to bring this closer so I can see, because the text is really small on this. I need your advice, please. There is people at my workplace that is bullying me. Oh, honey, I did mention it to the boss, but he's doing nothing and I have responsibilities, so I can't leave. I don't know if you saw, NJ, that video that I did on removing third parties, and it was a similar sort of thing. The girl who shared her success was a client of mine. Literally, like, for her, I just imagined that she gives me the good news, and I got her to imagine as well, like, that she's telling me that this person is no longer an issue. And although this woman actually hasn't left the company, she's still there. It's like they don't cross paths anymore. It's like she's vanished from her life, you know? So try to kind of change your perception as well of this person. Okay, they're bullying me, but that meaning puts me in a negative sort of in a victim mindset, right? So see it as, right, this person is threatened by me somehow. I must have something that they don't have. There must be some envy there. I can almost feel pity for them. I can almost feel a bit of compassion. And then how can I reframe this? Well, you know, they're going to fade out of my, you know, just send them off, see them actually getting a different job, or just see nothing, just see in your vision that they just kind of fade away. You can make them smaller, or you can just like fade them off. They're not important to you. They don't have any power over you. They're not bullying you. They're just projecting their insecurities onto you. And that doesn't affect you unless you allow it to. You know, sort of empower yourself with this. Adelina, and any nice plans for the weekend? I wish. I've been working like a mofo. You guys have been keeping me extremely busy. I love you all, really, I do. And I'm so sorry that it's taking me a bit of time to get through my emails. So those of you who have messaged me for coaching, please bear with me. I try to respond at least within a couple of days, but it's been insane. So I am working through the weekends, but it's good. It doesn't feel like work. That's the thing. Cancun. Oh my goodness, Laura from Cancun, from Germany. Wie geht's? Hello, guten Tag. I love you and Joseph together. I wish everyone gets their soulmate like you. You will. All of you will. Do you know what I found? I screenshotted it and it's on this phone. It was on another video. It was about like magic and stuff like that. What is magic? And obviously, I don't like using the term magic because to me, I think of when you're a kid and you have the cheesy magicians coming that are like pulling a rabbit out of a hat and that kind of thing, right? But obviously, you know, this stuff that we do, spirituality, esoteric teachings, hermetics, it comes under magic, alchemy is all kind of, you know, it's all the same. It's all different words for essentially describing the same sort of things. And anyway, I came across this video and I was curious, you know, it's basically talking about conscious creation. And I just saw in the comments and I screenshotted that comment because I thought that's a really lovely thing to share. It's a person who obviously doesn't understand manifestation as we do, is more into the alchemic side of things. But I think she was saying that her mother had taught her magic. And what it was about getting clarity as to what she wanted in a partner. And she had gotten so clear about what she wanted in a partner that she even, and it's similar to what happened with Joseph and I, isn't it? She had even listed out that he would be driving a specific type of car. Not too sure why she chose that, but she said 15 years later, we're still together. And literally a week before he met me, he bought that specific car. So how incredible is that? By the way, if you can hear Joseph in the background, that's because he is on a call at the moment. But I did ask him to come and say hi when he's done coaching. Discord is the place to be. Ellie, you've got spearmint tea. I've got rooibos. Are you guys impressed? Rooibos. Am I pronouncing that correctly? It's from my South African and my Dutch, because it's Dutch as well, isn't it? I keep the bag as well. Are you meant to do that? Keep the tea bag in there. Brew, strong brew. It's the first time I've caught you live. Bell for tricks. This is for you, my darling. You're not drinking romance, you're knitting. What are you knitting? Jane, you're JP Owl on the Discord. I knew it. I remember you. You're on the green tea. Oh, very, very healthy. Dina, peppermint tea is like one of my favorites. So good for your stomach as well. I did mean to put honey in this. I thought I just wanted to try what honey would be like in rooibos. Oh, what a great start of the weekend. Naomi, welcome. Yay, Haley, you made it. Christy, you're working, huh? We're going to distract you at work. Everyone try and make Christy laugh. I always love doing that. When people say they're working, I'm like, let's try and make them laugh. Because they've probably got the headphones in, subtly listening while they're working away. Your hypnosis tracks save my sanity and your voice calms me. I promise I will make more. It's so wonderful to hear that. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys something. What's it? Red Thread? Athena, do you know about the Gravenoid? I don't at all. Red Thread, do you mind sharing a bit about that with me? You can email me if you like to about that, because you know I'm open to learning new things all the time. On the monster, but debating if it's too much caffeine. Oh, Becca, what time is it over there, hun? I avoid caffeine. I'm one of those that is oversensitive to caffeine, you know. I'll be shaking. I'll be vibrating my way to the top frequency. Actually, maybe that's not a bad thing. I've been watching your videos and they've been so helpful. Belfatrix, I'm so happy to hear that. You see, when you understand the workings of the law, how it's meant to be, isn't it just like a weight is lifted off? You don't have to do all these techniques. You don't have to make it hard work. Somehow it got really overcomplicated, didn't it? Greetings from Florida. You have a cold drink. Grammar Diva. I tell you, rub it in, why don't you? I know you guys always have the sunshine over there. See, it's the sunshine state, and I thought California was the sunshine state. Apparently it's all Florida. I've used Neville AI most days, and he's been fab. Ellie, I know. Do you know you guys and Daddy Neville? I tell you what, he's been a game changer, and it's been really wonderful to see how much you guys are getting from it. Hello, lovelies. Hello, Coke. How you doing, Dr. Victoria? My sweet. How are you, babe? Rashna, hi. Greetings from Texas. Hello, Ryan. You're here. Saba, Athena, you live. Oh, I love you, Saba. Hello, Mary. It's good to see you. Athena, what do I do? My SP eloped with some girl last year on our anniversary. Oh my goodness. This is a horrible reality I've created. El Shera, is it? I'm really, oh, bless you, darling, because I know that's not obviously what you expected. And all right, I'll answer this and then I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I'd really appreciate your feedback on something, okay? So bear with me. Reality, so the way that we've been taught, it really gives the impression that I am God of my reality and I create everything. The problem with that is that when bad things happen, it can put some of us in a bit of a blame culture. We start to blame ourselves, and that's really not what this is about. It is always about self-empowerment. I can't control what people do. I influence them. That's different. I have an influence on people. It might seem like control, like if I set an intention and suddenly someone is moved to say something to me, or a company is suddenly moved to restructure themselves to give me the job that I wanted, that I put on my list, for example, right? But I'm not controlling it. They're influenced. They do it in their own way, in their own time. It's the universe that controls everything, right? So please don't blame yourself. Don't see this as it's a horrible reality I've created. That's a real blame there, you know? So take that weight, because you don't need that weight. You don't need that blame. And see it as, okay, he's eloped with this girl. I don't know much about your history, darling, so it's really hard for me to reframe this in a different way, but I want you to see what strength you can gain from this. What does this mean? Take a step back and be like, okay, why have I put all my happiness on this one person, for example? And I do this with all my clients. I don't care if they're manifesting general love or specific person. I get everybody to try and understand, why have I fixated on one person to make me happy? Because that's the thing. If I can see the abundance of love in everything, I can manifest people and things much more easier. It's like money. If I can see the abundance of money rather than saying I can only get money through work or through winning the lottery, that suddenly I've just really kind of narrowed my focus and I've just given myself one avenue when there's billions of other different avenues. So I want you to understand, what is the attachment here? Is it love? Do you really believe that you're not going to get love from anywhere else? Do you see this situation as final? Because it isn't. Nothing in life is final. Everything changes, right? How can you reframe this to empower yourself? What are you taking from this? What can you learn from this? Was there any beliefs and assumptions and insecurities that you had that you might want to work on? You know, use everything that you can into your power to empower you always. How important is staying? Oh yeah. So first of all, before I go on, because I know I'm going to carry on. First of all, can I just, I'm just going to scroll to the end, and I'm really sorry if I haven't, you know, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can, okay? Bam Bam, Divine Empress, how you doing, babe? I haven't seen you guys for ages. Nuzhat, Joseph's list method is magic. Yeah, do you know what? So many of you have been telling me about that. I thought I might make my own video about it, because I'm not sure if all of you watch Joseph's videos, but so many have been telling me about the incredible successes they get with the list method, and it's so much fun. We've actually got a room dedicated to the list method on our Discord because of the amount of success people have. But I just wanted to ask you guys something. So obviously I've been extremely busy. I want to try and do some more videos as well. You'll notice that the videos that I've done, some of them have been quite longer. I'm thinking of doing like some shorter ones as well, some bite-sized information. But most of all, I was thinking, would you guys like me to share success stories? All of your success stories. You know, all of you get a voice. This is our channel. This is our family. It's not just about only my clients share their success. All of you get to share. I don't care if it was before the law, after the law. Please keep them coming in. Whatever they were, could be that you manifested money, house, better health. And I was thinking to read them out. And if I can do this right, you know, I'll have like some music in the background. So it will be like success stories to fall asleep to. Would anyone be interested in that? Is that the kind of thing that you guys would do? Because I know a lot of you are listening to things like, I don't know, some of you listen to subliminals and affirmations as you sleep. Maybe some of you listen to my hypnosis as well. But hypnosis is best done when you're not completely asleep. Obviously, you've got to embody the state. But I was wondering if maybe sometimes, you know, subliminals, you don't know what's in a subliminal. You don't know what kind of people, what kind of things people are putting in there. Maybe you just want to listen to success stories that boost you. So would you guys like that? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Let me see. Be great more often. Success stories. Hi from Colombia. That'd be cool. Sounds great. Oh, awesome. You're welcome, OP. Yes, that would be cool. Ah, awesome. Okay. Yeah, because I'd really like to do that. I think I figured out, because you know me. You know me. I'm not tech savvy at all. I don't understand technology, so I don't edit my videos in any way, as you know. So everything has to come from my mind, and I have to be very prepared. But I was just thinking that, okay, well, I could do that. I could put some music in the back. I think I figured how I can do that on my phone. Put some music in the background and read out some of your success stories, even if it's something like manifesting a phone or something, you know. But I was going to try and do some more, what's the word, like shorts. I used to do TikToks all the time, which are obviously a lot shorter, but it's just so difficult to squeeze everything in. I've been so used to the longer videos where I just want to give you guys loads of information, but I'm also aware that maybe sometimes it's a lot of information to take in too. So I will do my best anyway, but bear with me. I'm trying to catch up with, I've got a lot of clients at the moment, so that's what's been keeping me extra busy. I'm really sorry if I haven't answered your messages, guys, because I realize there's a hell of a lot here and I want to try and respond to as many, but I also don't want to get too far behind. Doesn't have to be part. Thank you, darling. Yeah, Deborah, I do intend to do some more hypnosis. I promise you I will. The conscious creator, what's the best advice on recreating the best version of SP after years of old stories, especially on maintaining it? I feel there's a lot of internal contradictions, resentment, anger. It's a really good question, conscious creator. I was going to do another video. Anubuti, I will respond to yours as well next. So I have done videos, as you know, before on how to reveal, because that's all you're doing. You're revealing the other side of your specific person that is already in existence. And when you think about it that way, like it's already there, it's already in existence, it feels like there's less of a separation. It doesn't feel like such a big jump. And I don't know about you, but that sort of mentality really helps me to embody it. It's really not as crazy as people think. Well, first of all, I just want to say as well, conscious creator, that you do need to feel out the, as you said, there's internal contradictions, so you don't need to fight those. If you've got resentment and anger, that's something that you need to look into and to change. Why do you feel resentment and anger? It's probably because you've interpreted their actions a certain way. You've interpreted their actions to mean they don't respect you, they're rejecting you, they don't care about you, which of course natural reaction is anger and resentment. And that means that, you know, your emotions are valid. It is absolutely valid. So it's not about trying to override that and to hide that and to suppress that. I've had clients before that have not allowed themselves to mourn and have been on this journey so long because they're affirming and flipping over this story. But this old story needs to be processed. Your mind hasn't processed it yet. That's why it keeps wanting to come to the surface. So maybe find a way to not flip this around, but see an alternative perception. There's an unlimited number of perceptions that you can have here. Your perception is not the only one, right? That's why many of us can have a friend. You know, we'll call this our friend, I don't know, Jack. This is Jack, and Jack is everybody's friend, right? So how many of you have had this? You've got someone in your friendship group, you get on really, really well with this person. You know, they're like your bestie. They're so good, like you have a laugh, days are great, you know, they're the best. And then Frank comes along, and you know, Frank is sort of a bit funny with Jack, and then so, you know, Jack's just doing his thing, and then Frank comes to me and he's just like whispering in my ear. He's like, really can't stand that guy. really can't stand him. I'm like, why? He's so great. Everybody loves him and stuff. It's like, nah, you notice how manipulative he is. You notice he's a bit of a narcissist. Now, how is it that we have such different experiences of the same person? Is because we're interpreting always through our lens. Now, I am going to do more videos about this and how you can effectively experience any version of any body on this planet. Now, that doesn't go to say that you change people, right? And that doesn't go to say that you put up with less than respective behavior. Remember, we don't control people's behavior, but I do choose how to perceive someone. And even if I deem initially that someone has treated me unfairly, I sometimes take a step back and I gain an understanding that again empowers me, like I mentioned before, right? Okay, I make it their problem. You know, they're the ones with the problem. Okay, they're the ones with the jealousy. So they really want something that I have that they will never be able to have. That's the story they've told themselves. That's what causes jealousy in the first place. And I try to reframe it like that, to see compassion. And then maybe I reveal a different side from that story where I'm not angry, where I'm not resentful at them anymore, where I can see them as, you know, it may be more compassion, more pity, more, I don't know. It depends what you want to get out of it, how you want to see them. So we both have a very different experience. He hasn't done anything particularly, but say if I, if I am, I'm always looking at life through a specific lens. If my assumption of men that I get into relationships with, right? If my assumption is they always cheat, I always attract the players, then no matter what's his name? Is this Frank again? I can't remember. No matter what Frank does, okay, he could be coming in, he could be really charming, and I will meet everything that he does with heightened, what's the word? You know, I'm really struggling to talk today. But basically, yeah, I would be very paranoid about it. So he could be very kind towards me, but my interpretation of it based on my assumptions is going to be right. He's a player. He's probably saying this to all the other girls. So, you know, I can't trust what he's saying. And then he feeds off this energy where I've got this wall up. So they start taking a step or two back. Then I start seeing that they're messaging me less. I knew they were a player. Now they're rejecting me. I knew he was, you know, an a-hole. But you see, we're giving off energies and signals subconsciously all the time. That's why when I speak to people on coaching calls and that, I listen very closely to what they say and their demeanor and everything, because it tells me a lot, subconscious cues that they give me. I mean, sometimes people are just like, you psychic? Like, I could guess about themselves and their childhood, and they've not really told me that much. But there's a lot of information that we give away on a subconscious level. We don't even realize we're giving it. And that's why changing yourself and your assumptions are so important. Does this help? That I'm going to do more videos about that though. So Anubhuti, let me have a look. What was your question? Hi, Fred Perez as well, Jen. Do you know what? I can't find it. I'm on my SP journey. I believe my seed was already planted. I trust Jesus. I don't want to devise means because it's not my work. But I'm confused. My SP's birthday is coming, whether I should wish him or not. I'm not going to tell you what to do, hun. It doesn't matter what you do. It's always about the intention. That's what I say to people all the time. You know, people say, you know, should I reach out? Should I do this? And it doesn't matter. I know the dating advice is always going to say to you, mirror them back. You know, if they don't respond to you, like, then don't respond to them straight away when they finally message you. If they take 3 hours, you take 3 hours. Don't reach out first. Even people in the manifestation community are taking on these limiting beliefs as well and are teaching you the same. Like, it's not manifestation if you reach out first, and oh wait, you kept contacting them, you're chasing. Doesn't matter. No, that's actually not the point of it at all. It's about your state. Are you acting out of fear? If you're acting out of the wrong state, then it doesn't matter how cool you try to play it, you will still give off these vibes and you will still interpret life in a negative way. So it will not go in your favor anyway. Doesn't matter how much you try and take on this advice. And Abuti, it's up to you. You decide. But only you know why you're reaching out. Is it because that's just what you normally do? And the version of you that is confident, that knows that you're getting back together, has no qualms about saying happy birthday, even if you get ignored or whatever, you wouldn't take it necessarily as a rejection? Or is it like, this is an excuse to reach out? So I'm going to reach out and just see if I can push things along, right? So that's why I say it doesn't matter what you do, but what is the energy behind it? Gee, so I got my SP to unblock me, and I was waiting for him to make contact, but then he blocked me again. Now I'm spiraling and checking social media constantly. Gee, why? So you see, G, we haven't changed our state, right? When you've changed your state, how do you interpret blocking? This is what I mean about changing state is so important. Please don't get trapped in the 3D circumstances. When you're trapped in the 3D circumstances, you've essentially given your power away. You've essentially said in that moment that I don't know who I am. I'm going to let 3D dictate this to me and control me. But in manifestation, what it's about is realizing that the universe is all is mind, the universe is mental. That means it's happening through me. Like I say, that doesn't mean, oh, I create everything and it's all my fault, right? What it means is I don't control what my SP just did here. So they've blocked me for whatever reason it is. How do I interpret it? Version of me who is rejected, who is anxious, who knows that we're not getting back together, is occupying that state of lack, immediately perceives this as rejection. Right? How did you perceive it? You've obviously perceived it really negatively, which has sent you into this spiral, which is now you've gone into chase mode, because now you're frantic. It's in panic, right? And we know that this is not going to achieve good results. I mean, what do you expect to gain when you check social media constantly? It's not going to suddenly change. And what are you waiting for? If reality is reflecting you always, what are you waiting on reality for? Why are you waiting for the mirror? You be the reflection, right? So I'm perceiving this in lack. Thank you very much, reality. You've just shown me something valuable about myself. This is not the state that I need to occupy. The state of me that knows my worth, that feels chosen in relation to this person, that realizes that they're coming back for me. I've convinced myself of that. Now, the way that I perceive this situation is very, very different. I'm like, okay, they unblocked me. They're obviously curious about me. They're obviously thinking about me, and they've just gone and blocked me again. So they might have seen something that obviously really affects them. I still really have an impact on them, which shows they really do care. I really do affect this person, because why would you go out of your way? If you're not playing on this person's mind, why would they think to unblock you and then block you again, right? It shows that there's some sort of battle that they're having at the moment. Does this make sense? But do you see what I mean about why you're always changing yourself? You're not changing the outside world. Success stories you share are a treat to the ears and wisdom to our lives. Oh, that is so kind of you, Mamta. Then I promise I will share more. I mean, there's a few people, my clients, I always get them to try and share a voice note. And actually, you guys as well, if you want to share it in a voice note, or I know a lot of you prefer to email it over. That's probably easier. With my clients, obviously they've got my contact, so they tend to voice note me as well. Plus I prefer it, 'cause it's like I want you guys to hear their voice, hear their excitement, hear what they did in their own words. You can't beat that. But yeah, I'm gonna take the email ones that are in my website, because I do post every single one of you. I do post all your successes on the website at least. And I thought maybe I could just start reading them. And there's such a variety of successes, from manifesting expensive handbags to jobs to you name it, to SPs, to miracle health ones. Saba, how do you personally do the thought transmission? Can you suggest challenge the negative thought of love fading away from my ex's mind due to no contact and out of sight for months? How many of you are going through the same? How many of you have ever worried that you would be forgotten by a specific person? As time progresses, you feel like the thoughts of you are fading away from them. There's no contact. So this whole out of sight, out of mind, right? Which again is another limiting belief. You don't have to take this on. But I think that this is a big one that people do concern themselves with. If you think about it, they're out of your sight as well, but you still think of them. what makes you think so lowly of yourself that they would have made an impression on you, but you wouldn't have made an impression on them? The fact that you felt this connection with them, I think the likelihood is that they would have felt this connection with you too. You would have made an impression. You see someone who knows, again, their worth and value, and it's more than about self-love. But if you truly know your worth and value, especially in relation to that person, then you wouldn't be so easy to dismiss the fact that, oh, yeah, they'll easily forget about me. I mean, I've had clients share stories. One of them, she's amazing, and I want to share her story. She's not reached her success. She's realized the mistake that she's made. She manifested, I think, essentially the middle. She didn't go far enough, but her story is still incredible. And I will share it with you guys because I wanted to use it as an example as to why it is so important to go to the end and not get into the trap of micromanaging just because you're desperate to get contact or a first date. She learned the hard way. But essentially, this guy was her first love. I think they met when they were very young, obviously, like teenagers. Um, an abusive parent got in the way of it. Her self-esteem, everything was crushed. She ended this relationship. It's like the universe couldn't stop crossing their paths, even though decades would pass. And now in her 50s, I believe, and I'm sorry if I've got it wrong, darling, I have to read that again. They've reconnected and the love there is still as strong. Now, in the meantime, both of them had got married, both of them had had kids, both of them had moved on with their lives, their relationships had ended, her partner had passed away, unfortunately, and yet they still brought together. The love never changed, never died, right? Because she always held that assumption. She always knew that she was loved by him. Now, the thing with thought transmission as well, Joseph and I are still testing it, and we've written some amazing things, and I need to write some more. One thing I have noticed, so maybe this is my assumption, like I said, I'm going to do a series of videos as well, guys, on thought transmission. You know, I will not share anything with you guys unless I have tested it myself. It's like I didn't just become, I didn't start making my YouTube channel just because I manifested one SP or two SPs. I had to keep testing it. I wanted to give you something that was proven, tried and tested. And it's the same with thought transmission, because even though I've obviously experienced a lot with thought transmission, I never tested it with intention, like purposefully trying to figure out how I could get it to work every single time. It was one of those things that you think of someone, they call you. Since I did that last video on thought transmission, it has been through the roof. And I have adopted a very general assumption that I'm really good with thought transmission, that my thoughts get transmitted out. Soon I'm not going to need a mobile phone. The people who have been really impacted are Joseph. I've tested it on clients that I haven't spoken to in years, and I've asked them to get in touch with me in my head and to share with me their success or their update literally the next day. And these are people I don't speak to, I haven't spoken to in years, right? There's been two old friends that I haven't spoken to in a long time. So I'm starting to see it, even with clients that I've never met before, that are saying things to me in relation to what I have projected out or have answered my question, which I've just sent out into the ether. And then suddenly I get a client and this client answers that question. So you can do it specifically with people, you can do it sending it into the ether. But I have noticed that with our Discord community, because we're so close as well, I have noticed a lot more with them. Like I said to myself, I'm going to project myself into someone's dreams. And two people in the Discord then said, I dreamt about you. Did you transport yourself into my dreams? So, I mean, I've made some notes. And when Joseph's off his call, maybe he can share a bit about what we've done here, because we were doing it really well. We were on a flow. And I think what happened was maybe I started trying too hard. And maybe that's the issue that I've been having. So, but I promise I'm going to share everything with you guys so you can use it as well. Kimberly tuning in from Oregon. Hello. I emailed you the other day about manifesting positive health outcome from my SP. Still waiting to hear his results. Kimberly, I already know it's going to be okay, darling, but do keep me posted. Christopher, a few quick questions. Do you have to feel anything when manifesting SP? Can you manifest without visualizing? How can you stop checking and reacting to 3D? So these are great questions, Christopher. So essentially, let me see. Do you have to feel anything? Feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard has said. feeling doesn't have to be heightened emotions, but I do find that if you do have emotion and strong intention anyway behind it, that a bigger impression can be made. That's why when we go through, say, a traumatic event or a very loving event, just for it to happen once is enough to change our entire perception on love, or a new phobia is birthed through that one experience, right? But it's not necessary. And half the time that I imagine things, I have to admit that the sense that I get when I embody the state is mostly that of a peace, a calm, and a like a gratitude. I either feel an elation or I just feel like a gratitude because I have just imagined this issue has been solved. It's not necessary to feel high emotions, but the feeling is that of it is done. The feeling is I've something within me has clicked and I am the person that's going to get that result. When you manifest, so you can manifest without visualizing, absolutely. We've all imagined, um, every single one of us imagine all the time. Imagination is the best way to impress. This has been scientifically proven as well. Not that we always go by science. And that's something I do want to address as well, because I know I talk about science, neuroscience, neuroplasticity. It's because, I've grown up with psychology and I've got that sort of psychoanalytical logic mind as well. We all do. So I use it to help you guys to link more to the spiritual stuff. If you can make sense of it from a logical mindset, then you become more open to the more powerful esoteric stuff. Because once you delve into it, it goes really, really deep. But what I will say is that science and neuroscience and that cannot really understand or describe manifestation. And so I don't want you to limit yourselves just to the science of things either, because science was birthed from manifestation and it's still trying to catch up. So how can you use science to describe the cosmos, to describe consciousness? It can't be done. They're only starting to understand it. But yeah, that's my little detour. Since you don't have to imagine, you can have inner conversations. Sometimes, you do just see a picture in your head. I don't really sit there doing formal imaginative acts all the time. Sometimes I do, but usually in the shower and that, I'll just close my eyes and I'll just let myself go. I've demonstrated in videos. You've got the passive imagination technique. I've made a video on that. I've made a video on inner conversations as well. Go and check these out. I give you step by steps. I go deep dive. And when you shift your state, what you will find is you'll be less inclined to check the 3D reality. You're just going to quite naturally feel a sense of detachment. You're not going to stop reacting to the 3D because you're a human being and you're meant to have reactions, right? But you will see your reactions as a guideline. Okay, why did I react like this? Is this in alignment with my new version of self? Do I react and then I dismiss it and I carry on? Or is this reaction and this spiral enough to just stop me? Because we've also proven as well that you can react and you can react negatively and yet you can still get what you want. I hope that helps. Can you do 10 minutes, 15-minute videos? Oh, Deborah, yeah, do you know what I was thinking? I thought if I do shorter videos, could I do more of them? But I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if that would be the case. Thank you so much for manifesting with me. My fur baby's test results came. Unity, my baby, is all good, all is good. I always manifest with all of you guys. You don't even need to ask. I'm sending intentions that everyone in our collective gets success. And I think that's why I know that my following is relatively small in the grand scheme of things, but the ratio of success we get on this channel, and I know it's because I keep pushing that out. I keep pushing it out. So all of you are going to be getting it. I'm not sure if I even like my SP anymore in an organic way due to personal growth, but I'm still curious. How can we be neutral to still manifest connection? But when we confuse now, but we still, so I don't know, Ilya, I don't know if you want to spend some time understanding what you want in a relationship. If you say you're not even sure that you like them anymore because you've grown, I mean, for a lot of the reasons people think they want a specific person, but really it's some sort of trauma bond. Really, it's coming from a place of pain. I've been there before too. I've set an intention with someone, and when they've come back, I've realized it wasn't about them. It wasn't about them at all. I didn't really want a relationship with them, but the place of pain, you suddenly convince yourself that they're the only ones who can fix your pain. when you grow and you heal, you change your mind. So it's important to understand, okay, well, what do I even want in a relationship? I get, clients of mine who don't manifest their SPs, who they just decide that, I don't want to manifest. Because a lot of them do. They'll come to me, they'll start to heal, and then they'll change their mind and they'll be like, I don't want my SP. I've realized that I actually want my perfect person or my ideal person or something. And they'll go, and you've heard those success stories as well, that some people choose to do that. They change their mind because the growth, you do change your mind. That's why I'm not with my first SP that I manifested back, like my very first one. Well, I never manifested marriage with him. I didn't want that. But you change your mind. I'm not the same person when I was 20s to in my 40s now. I'm not the same person. I don't have the same taste. How do you stay in the state, Karen? What does that mean? Do you have to be happy feeling most of the day? No, not at all, Karen. No, that's a misconception. So you just live your life, hon. You literally live your life. That is being in the state. So when you imagine, you put yourself in a state, you embody that. And then the rest of the day, I don't think about it anymore. I don't think about trying to stay in a state. I don't think about trying to stay in a mood. You will shift state all the time. But my state of mind in relation to that desire feels consistent. Whenever I think about that desire, it's with a certain feeling, a feeling of, that's what I'm going to have, or that is my aim, that is my goal, sort of thing, that's or a sense of peace when I think about it. But yeah, you don't have to be happy all the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down because I realize I'm well behind. I'm well behind. You're welcome, Christopher. I'm glad that was helpful. Oh, we're okay giving you a thing. I love you, Newsy. Thank you, Jan Johnson, my angel. Daydream and visualization is different. Really, not really, no. You think of them, both of them are imaginal acts, but the difference is the intention behind it. Sometimes when we daydream, we're not doing it with embodiment, we're doing it with, oh, I wish. But when we do something with intention, you see it's about your attention and your intention. So where is my attention? What am I focused on? All right, I can see myself on the beaches of Spain. I can see myself being in a place of financial abundance. I can see myself in that relationship. Will I stick myself there? But am I daydreaming about it like, oh, I wish, like I used to daydream about being with Keanu Reeves? Or am I imagining, like, daydreaming about it like, yeah, because that's going to be me one day? It's different, only in the sense of the intention behind it, really. Thank you so much, Sapodi, my darling. Let me scroll down. Oh, my throat. Alexis, you like the longer videos? Yay! Oh, I'm glad to hear that, though. Many of you actually have been taking notes. I heard that you've been taking notes, you've been sharing the videos out, you've been learning from it. Some of you said that when you come back to the videos, you notice things that you missed before, and that's very commonplace too. When you shift your state, you'll notice that when you go back and you rewatch some of my videos, certain things that you missed before or misunderstood before will be so much clearer. Some people see my videos and they get a little bit like, oh no, they get triggered by something that was said because they're not occupying the right state. They take it to mean something like, oh no, I can't have my SP, or I can't have this, or they take it to be something wrong. And then when they go back, when they're in a different mindset, that's another way you can tell you shifted. Suddenly they notice things that they didn't notice before, and suddenly they're just like, why did I get triggered? But I get what she's saying now. That's what it means, right? So this is a really good way as well to tell if you've shifted your mindset. Whereas people who are anxious and in lack, they don't want to learn. They want a quick fix, a quick hack. And that's why so many people get trapped watching video upon video upon video, looking for that hack and that quick, how can I make them obsessed with me? What affirmation do I need to say to make everything fall apart with a third party, or whatever it is, right? But they don't understand what they're doing. And it's sad because those people can be stuck in a process for the longest time. And then they get disheartened and they start questioning the law, and then then it just kind of cascades from there. So it is important to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay, you've been told to do these techniques, but why have you been told to do them? What is the reason? Because if you don't know why you're doing it, you'll be blindly doing it. And then I had someone comment on my video today going, But it's been a year. It's been a year. I've been manifesting communication, a text. It's been a year and nothing. So what does that message tell you? This is someone who's gotten trapped in doing techniques and they're still waiting. And they're manifesting communication. I was thinking, is that, I don't believe that's all you want though. So you're also trying to manifest to get that quick validation. But what happens when you get communication and that's it? Then what? You know, what are you waiting for? We're not waiting for anything, guys. You are it. You're not becoming powerful. The technique is to help you to become, to shift state, but you're not becoming powerful. You already are powerful. Everything is within you now. I'm struggling to manifest my SP, powerful soul, since a year. Okay, he is married. I want him to take a stand for me. Any advice? How do I ignore the 3D? So he's married, powerful. So I mean, again, I don't know your situation, and you know me, I know that people can really judge other people's desires. The amount of times I get people saying, why do you want someone who rejects you, or why would you have more self-respect, or something like that. And it's not about self-respect. And you know that you know, some people can't understand why others want to manifest numerous SPs, like polyamory and things like that. Like, it's a really devastating thing to some people. Again, it's no right or wrong. It's all a matter of perception. And so I would ask you about, okay, why have you picked someone who is married? What kind of wounds are there? Because I used to do that inadvertently. I would pick people who were in relationships. And it was when I reflected on myself, like, why is that? What are my assumptions here? Why am I attracted or wanting people that are not available or that are already in relationships? I'm not chosen. I don't see myself as the priority. So I put myself in this situation. I have, as much as I want commitment, I have a fear of commitment. So when they're with someone else, it's like, okay, I can kind of have what I want, but I kind of don't have to worry about commitment because there's this barrier up. And do you see how life will always mirror back to you? So use this situation to understand yourself, what you want in a relationship and why. You're not ignoring the 3D, guys. Everyone is telling you to ignore the 3D. Why? You're living your life. You're supposed to live your best life. But how can I do that if I ignore the 3D? Coco, I'm just going to ignore you. I'm just going to ignore your existence, and I'm just going to ignore everything that's going on around me that says the opposite of what I want. Well, nothing is saying the opposite of what I want. That's just my interpretation. But you're meant to learn from the physical reality. You know how every single one of us has, this is my old phone. Look, my screensaver. Does anyone recognize that guy? When I was, before Joseph came into my life and I was embodying my ideal relationship, I was using him. He was my image. And Joseph acts exactly as I had imagined in this image, in this scene of my perfect person. Anyway, I digress. We're human beings. We have, everything is in existence within us, right? We're part of the endless supply that is consciousness, the infinite. So every assumption that could ever be, every belief is in existence. And what we've done as human beings is we have selected certain assumptions and beliefs to have. You've got certain assumptions and beliefs about relationships, about the men or women that you attract, about how people treat you at work, about authority figures, about politics, about, you've got all these assumptions and you can change them anytime. That's why it's self-concept. It's an idea. It's not self set in stone, you know, it's just a concept. It's an idea. It's fluid. It's malleable. So you get to choose. Now, the thing is, we've got all these assumptions and beliefs running in the background, a bit like your mobile phone. You've got loads of apps that are running in the background that you don't even know. You don't even know half of the apps that are running in the background, right? But there they are. They're functioning. They're draining you, draining your battery life in some cases. Some of them are useful and some of them are not. Now, how do you establish, obviously in your phone, okay, I would go into my phone and I would go into the systems or whatever, and I will have a look at these apps that are running and I disable, dismantle, uninstall, whatever, change it, customize my phone, customize my experience. That's what you're doing as a human being. I go within myself and I change my assumptions. Now, if I ignore 3D, that's like me saying, okay, I want to change the apps on my phone, but I'm not allowed to go into the settings. So I'm just going to ignore the settings exist. and I'm just going to be in some sort of Delulu land. No. The physical world is also your feedback loop. So what I'll do is I will have a look at things and how I react to them. What are my patterns? What are the things that I notice in relationships? What are the things that I notice in relation to this specific person or this family member or this boss? Like, what have I always noticed? Because the common denominator is me. There are assumptions that I have that keep on repeating said patterns. And if I want to break them, I have to look at my 3D evidence. And this is why to be objective of your 3D reality, not ignore it, but to use it to your advantage, is going to strengthen you, help you to grow, empower you. Remember, that's what you're doing. You're always coming from a place of power. Know that things can change. Relationships ebb and flow. If you've got a third party situation, no matter what that person is, you don't see them as competition. No one is in competition with you. You create your experience. I don't see this as a competition. This is an ally. You know, nothing is set in stone in this world. So how are you looking at things? You know, does this sort of make sense? Did that help? Did that analogy make any sense? You know, I like using my analogies to try and explain it to you. I just made up that mobile phone one. But I thought, actually, this is working out quite well. Same, I've moved on now. All I want is to raise my beautiful 10-year-old and 15-year-old boys and foster kittens. And Constance has promised me that she's going to send me those kitten photos when she starts fostering the kitties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll right the way down. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending this evening with me, by the way. I really do apologize. I'm not going to get through to all of your questions. Did I have a donation or something? Did I miss something here? I'm so sorry. Did someone donate? Did I miss something? Please tell me. Please tell me if I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll. Keanu Reeves. Mark has been watching Bill and Ted. Do you know the amount of imaginal acts I've had with Keanu Reeves, honestly? Mental diet tips. Hey, LT, how you doing, baby? How to deal with opposing thoughts and images popping in your mind. I've been using them as reminders to feel my end for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then I let it go. I mean, you'll always get intrusive thoughts and images. Is usually, you know, deep set fears. So there's some of the apps that are running on in the background right now. So again, I want to kind of understand a lot of my thoughts. Okay, I realize that, listen, they're not going to manifest. So do I have to worry about it? If they're really domineering and overpowering, I try to understand it. Actually, this is what I've done. And I shared this with my Discord community. And you guys as well, you know, you are welcome to join the Discord. We do live sessions every week. So like this, but obviously it's a smaller group at the moment. So everybody gets to ask a question every week. And we also do our weekly workshops, Joseph and I, and it's a great way to keep accountable. And I know that some of you are maybe worried about being in a group setting, by the way, and being heard, or perhaps you feel quite shy and introverted. We've got that covered as well, because there's many of my clients on there who are shy and introverted who go just to listen to other people and to hear the discussions and to learn. And if they don't want to talk, they can type in the chat box and I will still answer all their questions. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know many of you are like a bit more shy and introvert, and perhaps you feel that the group sessions are not for you, but they're really valuable. LT is on our group as well. And Han, you know, this is what I shared in the live, wasn't it? So this came to me recently. I was having some extremely intrusive thoughts, and I know that it comes from that old concept I have about health anxiety. Always had health anxiety to a crippling effect when I was younger. I'm obviously much better with it. But me being a human being, it's not like I manifest everything effortlessly. I'm going to get to that point. But, you know, I find, yeah, SP's easy, love, easy, house, money, stuff like that, easy. My ideal body, physique, looking younger, easy. Health stuff, I've manifested for myself and for others. Do I find it easy all the time? No, because I don't know, anxiety gets in the way. So intrusive thoughts are a big part of when I'm doing any sort of health manifestation. Now, the way that I've started to deal with it is, first of all, I see it as that's not my thought. That's what I've done to cause a level of separation. That's not my thought. That's someone else's thought, right? It doesn't belong to me. And I started now to talk to the thought as if it belongs to that person, or talk to the person who's having that thought, essentially, and understand, what are you afraid of? Like, why are you having this thought? And I become like their counselor. It's really weird. I don't know if that makes sense. But I was talking about this with the Discord group. Joseph was like, "That's genius." So I don't know if he's tried it. He's tried it for himself. But that's one way that I've decided to do it and to deal with it. I see, what is the dominant theme, right? That intrusive thought. The dominant theme is fear around health, and I understand where that's coming from. But how about if I detach from it and just see it as, it's not my thought, it doesn't belong to me. I'm just listening to it. I'm the receiver of it. It's someone else's thought transmission, you know, that kind of thing. And maybe that's why the idea to do it like that came to me, because I've been doing more with thought transmission. I don't know. I am imagining my SP coming back, but sometimes I'm okay with just having a new person or imaginary relationship. Am I misleading my manifestation? No, not at all happy. Because, you know, like I say, the important thing is we're all chasing a feeling. It's a feeling of, you know, what it would feel like to have financial abundance, what it would feel like to have a loving, committed relationship, what it would feel like. So you're always looking for, what do I want? That's the driving force, whether it's something or someone specific, whether it's something quite general. Now, obviously, when you're going general, and I always get people to do that, even when you're manifesting a specific person, you cannot manifest a specific person thinking the same way that you did in the first place that broke up the relationship, right? You've got to think bigger. So going general helps with that. So I think the fact that you're kind of flitting between the two is not really misleading anything. It's about you, I think, trying to discover what it is you truly want. And you're just not limiting yourself to one specific person. You're going all out to figure out, well, what do I need? What do I want? And for some people, it's very difficult for them to make the connection with that specific person, especially if there's a long history. Whereas to go general means that anyone could fit the bill. Suddenly I've gone from one person is going to fit the bill to billions of people could potentially fit the bill here. And maybe that's what you're doing. So it's not ruining anything, because either way, you will get a result that you are just going to love. Newsy, make a video on how to get commitment from an SP. I think I have talked about this in my videos, haven't I? But essentially, you are imagining your end. You're imagining that you've already got that commitment. You're imagining and being the person that, of course, they would not only come back to you, but they would be committed to you, you know? That's the thing. Always imagine your end. Because like I say, some of you are imagining and affirming. They message me. They unblock me. They do, but we don't care about this. The version of you who gets unblocked, who gets a text message, so what? You know, that feels a certain way, but I don't feel safe and secure like I'm in a long-term relationship. I feel like I just got a text message, you know. It's not the same feeling, right? Feeling is the secret. Okay. Yeah, the first time I read Neville, I was confused. As in the current state, it all makes sense. Becca, you get it. Do you know what? That's why I always believe as well, when people come to my channel, come to this community, come into our family here, they're ready. They're ready for change. Some people come in and they're not ready. They still want the clickbait. They still want to affirm tens of thousands of times a day. They still want to do all those things. They're not ready for the deeper stuff. They might still be wanting something that's a quick validation. You know, have someone come back and repeat back, and you know, they don't want to make the deeper change. I prefer to go deeper because I would like you guys to get lifelong changes in everything that you do. It's not just about one specific person. You're a success. That's why I keep saying you're a success now. Every single one of you is a success. Every single one of you has manifested numerous successes, not just one. And if I can get you all to see that and to embody that and to own that, what do you think that does? Because suddenly I'm occupying a state of success, and I'm just going to keep on attracting success in everything that I do. You see, there is method to my madness, guys. Jen, Athena just triggers me to break into song. What song? I hope it's a good one. Manifestation comes from self-state. Absolute divine empress. Angel Storm, I've definitely seen a shift this week. I've stopped watching tarot videos and checking messages every 2 minutes. Finding the Discord really helpful. Thank you. You are welcome, my darling. How are you finding Neville? Have you been chatting to him much as well? When you're manifesting from a God state, there is no desperation. Right. Vivian, your hypnotherapy video, Athena, has been a great tool. I created an entire reality by listening to your voice. I already repeat the end with after number 5. Thank you for this wonderful. Oh, you are so welcome, Vivian. Thank you so much for the feedback. Hypnosis is such a powerful tool. And like I say, guys, I promise you I will create more hypnosis audios as soon as I get some time to do so. I've been creating some deep dive ones. That's what's been delaying me, because what I've done is I've tried to make my consultation packages much more robust, so you get a lot, so that you need less of them. You see, there's only one of me, there's so many of you, so if I can see you once and make a change, which you all do, but make big enough change for you to not need me again, or at least for you not to need me again for the next month or so, then I'll do that. And that's why I've been creating these robust sort of deep dive hypnosises, so the transformation work continues, you know, even after the session as well. How to interpret offering your new home number to SP, and she's like, thanks, but I'm good. Yet I can see her profile picture on WhatsApp. Is she just not asked to delete it, or does she still care? John, what do you make it mean? What do you make it mean? That's what's most important, right? It's the story that you tell yourself. So what do you make that mean? How do you interpret that? Okay, you've given them the new home number, and they're like, thanks, but I'm good. Is it because they've got another ways and means of communicating and contacting? As you say, you've still got the profile picture on WhatsApp. I mean, I don't know deep enough your story to give it an interpretation myself, but it could just be like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I've got a contact for you anyway that I'm going to rely on. So affirming and visualizing is reminding yourself you already have it. And yes, DJ, I hope I pronounced that correctly. And remember, when you shift state, you don't need to affirm or keep visualizing. You don't need to do any techniques, because you are it. The whole time that you are doing any technique, you are not it. But once you've shifted, well, you don't need to do techniques. I'm not in a process of becoming it anymore. If every now and again I'll have a little sort of daydream about something, it's in relation to my desire. It's already aligned with my desire naturally. I mean, that comes naturally from my state. Sometimes I will have thoughts. Sometimes I will say things and be like, yeah, yeah, when they come back, or, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have my own business one day and stuff. Then I'm affirming that from my state of being, but I'm not affirming it or visualizing it or scripting it to become it. I've gotten out of becoming. I am. So does that make sense? So make sure that you guys don't get trapped in the cycle of still trying to become something when you already are it. My dad is in my life, but he was never emotionally available. And I noticed I have a belief that men will leave me. So no surprise, I always end up getting ghosted by those who I like. How do I change that? Stephanie, we were talking about that actually in our Discord live again. Joseph has a really good method for that. That is really, really simple, because he always says, okay, you find out what your general assumption is. All right, so your dad is your very first example of a relationship with a male figure, and you have seen you've labeled this as emotionally unavailable. So now you've got this expectancy that all men will be like that. So how about the men that I meet are emotionally available? Like, this is your new assumption. You're making an opposing assumption. The men I meet are always emotionally available. They love to commit to me. They choose to be in a relationship with me. And then you imagine the scenes to help you to embody that. I think that's roughly the way that Joseph does it. I'm a little bit more of a psychological approach, and I tend to try and see things in a different way that also makes sense. Like, I don't say, okay, they're ghosting me because they're emotionally unavailable and that's all men. I see that not all men will do that. I bring evidence as to where I have experienced guys who have been emotionally available. How I experience guys who don't just ghost me. I don't call it ghosting. I call it like, okay, we've got a pause in the communication, or maybe they've realized they're not ready for a relationship. And guys tend to perhaps withdraw and go within. So I'm not going to take it as a rejection, you know, because I know that I'm chosen. I know that guys are, you know, lucky to be with me. And I sort of start to shift the meaning like that. But that way that I shared with you, Joseph's way, is just as really easy you can do anytime. Thank you, Athena. I thought if intent for her to move away is wrong and it will come back to me, this person wants me to lose my job. I don't want to work with this person anymore. So, and Jay, remember what I said. Okay, be very clear what do you want. Okay, you know, I would like to not have to put up with this person anymore. I would like to be able to enjoy my work without being bullied. I would like to, how would that feel? You know, imagine that you're giving me the good news. What would you be telling me? How does that feel? How to manifest the SP you never had a relationship with and are in no contact after the first meeting. So, Athena, another Athena, but spelled differently. How to manifest the SP you never had a relationship with and you're in no contact. So, you had one meeting with this person and you want to manifest them in for a relationship. So they must have made a very big impact after that. And I know that often, you know, we are all energy. So I've had it before where someone has made an impression on me and I haven't even met them in person, you know, it's through images. But I know that we are all connected, right? We're all one. So I try not to see the separation in anything. Doesn't matter if I've dated that person or not. Doesn't matter if we're in the same country or not. Obviously, it didn't matter with Joseph and I, right? We've got a whole pond between us. Um, you're not looking at the obstacles and the reasons why it can't happen. You're always looking at the reasons why it can. And the fact that you've had no contact, say, yet after the first meeting. I mean, I've had that before, though. I had dates with guys. So remember, I told you guys that I was not in a great mindset. And I got on the dating apps for the wrong reasons. I suppose it's an attempt to boost your confidence, as you do. And if anything, of course, because I wasn't in the right mindset, I was attracting people that, I mean, literally, guys, it's so embarrassing. I was on 5 different dating apps and I didn't get a single date. Not a single one. Oh, yes, I'd speak to people and we'd have a great connection, lots in common. And I nearly arranged a date with one guy and then he went ghost and then he unmatched. So I was like, okay. I realized it was my mindset. I was still recovering. I was trying to force something and I was trying to get the outside world to validate me, to make me feel attractive again. You know, I was still in recovering for PTSD and, you know, you're trying to find yourself and your worth. And I fell into bad habits. You see, we always do. I knew what I was doing though, but I just allowed myself to do it. I sometimes do that. It's like, I know what I'm doing, but I won't fight it. I won't ever fight it because I know that my mind will overpower it and it will change, right? So try and think of what it is that you want, Athena. What was it about this person that really fulfilled you? What meaning are you giving it? Because even with some of those guys, you know, now that I've shifted, I'm the person that was, you know, that's in a relationship. Do you know how many of them who had ghosted me, how many of them came back and were trying to talk to me and flirt with me again? So it's a pause. I see it as a pause, not being ghosted. Ghosted sounds a little bit, you know, it's a bit drastic, isn't it? It's like it's cut off sort of thing. So just think about what is it that you want? What is the relationship that you want? What would it be like if you had that? You know, what is it that with this person that really stood out of everybody and the whole planet? You know, start to explore, be the person who has. Dose of Desi. How do we pull ourselves back from being so hurt and missing? I went out last night. I had a really fun night with friends, but still miss my SP. He was my fiance. Oh, now he has a girlfriend. Darling, dose of Desi. Um, bless you, hun. I mean, I don't know when you guys broke up, but obviously when you're going to get married to this person and your world has completely transformed, it can be absolutely devastating. And you're okay to miss them. I mean, I missed my SPs when I was in separation from them. But I knew that they were going to come back. Like I said, I knew my value and my worth. That's what I did with my client who is now getting married to her specific person. The last success story I shared with all of you. By the way, she said we have such a beautiful community. She went and she checked out all of your comments on that video and she felt very, very blessed. So thank you everyone for being so supportive of her. But the reason that she had a third party issue right? It's not because he loved this other girl and wanted to be with this other girl. They had so many years of this back and forth and dysfunction. A lot of it based on, of course, her not realizing her worth and value, which put a lot of pressure on the relationship, put a lot of pressure on him. And so he kind of pulled away, had to back away. This sort of broke down, right? So when we got her to see her worth, obviously she was investing a lot of time into herself and putting the love into herself. And I love that you're going out with your friends and you're getting on with your life. That's truly important. But of course, you're still mourning, you're grieving this old relationship, which again is important. You have to grieve this old story, but then turn it into empowerment slowly, slowly. Turn it into, okay, what can I learn from this? What went wrong? What would I have preferred instead? What assumptions do I have that broke down this relationship? Do I see my worth and value? Do I really see that I'm in competition with his new girlfriend? Or do I see that he's trying to move on as well? But the truth of the matter is, neither of us are going to be able to, because this connection was so real and strong. Perhaps he's needing to be in this relationship to learn about himself, to figure out what exactly he wants, to realize that no one is going to replace you. And like I say, it's yeah, you're going to miss them. It's hard, but that's going to alleviate. That's going to lessen. Athena can never ignore Coco. I know. A poor little baby. He's so cute. He looks like a little bean right now. He's fast asleep. How do I know the signs that I'm getting are really signs and not just me focusing on the things I am manifesting? So signs are really, really cool, right? Signs are very normal. You'll get signs and synchronicities quite naturally, no matter what you're manifesting. I have shared with you guys before that when I've manifested, particularly specific people, so I don't know why it's SP manifestations that did this, but I would see like their name everywhere, and I would see numbers associated with that person. Like if 7 was his favorite number, which was for the third one, I was just seeing it everywhere. And the frequency of them would get so much that then I would be like, right, we're going to bump into each other. It's quite natural as well. Hello, lovely.
Hello.
We're just talking about signs and synchronicities.
What do you know about that?
Did you finish? I don't know anything about it, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What is a sign?
What does sign for you to put the kettle on. That's what it is.
Yes, in fact. Oh, my hands are cold.
So, obviously, if I have geared my mind towards a certain outcome, quite naturally, I'm going to perhaps see more things related to that desire. That's your reticular activating system starting to filter in the things that it deems irrelevant now, right? So, but Mon Man, what I would say to you is the biggest sign, the most undeniable sign is the internal shift within you, is your perception. So, for example, when I was manifesting my very first specific person, initially, I was really affronted by the fact I was blocked and I saw it as a really negative thing. Initially, I was really threatened by the third party and I saw it as well. They seem to be the perfect couple. They go to gigs together. They look the same and all of this business. Initially, I'd seen all of these things, all negativity, and I was focused on every obstacle and I was still in chase mode because of that. As soon as I shifted my... You want to come and sit with us for a minute?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you want a coffee? You said put the kettle on.
Oh, no. Were you doing? No,
yeah,
no,
put the kettle on.
No, I've still got my rooibos.
Okay, well, just give me 2 minutes then, and then I'm going to come.
You can sit on Bean.
Yeah.
Because he's taking his space.
Like, what?
He's just so cute.
Good boy.
So yeah, what was I saying? So when I shifted my state, suddenly my perception was very different. I pulled right back. I didn't feel the need to continuously try to chase him. In fact, I felt quite compelled to live my life. I felt pretty good within myself. My thoughts in relation to him had changed. Even my dreams in relation to him had changed, had gone from negative and being dismissed to that of harmony. And I could see the cracks in the relationship with the third party. Suddenly, it's like he was posting up a lot of stuff with her. Now, originally, I thought, oh my God, he never did that with me. That's really out of character for him. He must really love her. But then when I changed my state, it was like, she must be really insecure. I feel like she's pushing him to do that. There's sort of a toxicity. I can't put my finger on it, but there's a toxicity here. And you know what? I was right. My God, there was a hell of a toxicity, actually, when he told me in later years as to how bad it actually was. But of course, social media wasn't painting that picture. But I knew, gut intuitively, I knew, because I was occupying the state. So that's the biggest sign, right? Always go with your perception. How has it shifted? I didn't care about being blocked. It was a blessing to me because I knew that he was thinking about me. I knew he was going to get in touch. You know, I didn't care about the pictures they were posting because I knew it was reflecting her insecurities, and she was extremely insecure. Apparently, she had made fake profiles to spy on me. So how did I know all this? I'm not psychic. It was just my assumptions turning into facts. So I'm going to customize. I love this. That's so cute, Newsy. I like how she called her sister such a pookie. I think that's such an adorable word. Okay, so I've got to scroll right the way down because I am so behind. You guys, I can't keep up with you all. I love this though. So, Jane says, hi, Joseph. Oh, you got a few highs, Joseph? He's just whistling back. He said he'll be here in a minute. Gizmo, my love, how are you? Oh, Jen, you're on the dating sites as well and you got scammed. Oh, I tell you what, it doesn't, it doesn't do well for your confidence sometimes. Then again, it's all about mindset. But do you see, some people will swear by the dating sites. They have a lot of luck. Actually, I never had issues with dating sites, but I must admit my last experience of them was not a good one. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Mindset is everything. Do like the video, guys. Oh, thank you, Twinkle. Celine, I kind of assumed my SP would be in love with me when he put up a romantic post on Instagram a year back, a week after we first met. But recently I found out he had a girlfriend all along. How interesting, Celine. So what do you take that to mean? I mean, the fact that he sort of met with you and he's had this connection with you, even though he had a girlfriend, what do you take that to mean about their relationship and about your connection with him? How have you interpreted that? So remember what I've said to all you guys. What's your perception? It will tell you a lot about where you stand. What I tend to do with my clients is I will spend a lot of time reframing things. They'll give me their full story and then I will reframe it in a way that actually makes a lot more logical sense and has a lot more backing to it, a new story. And that's why they shift their state immediately, because the brain just wants to have some evidence. That's what we do in hypnosis too. It's called pacing and leading. You know, I give you some evidence that is true, something that is sensorially that is accurate, and you can tell it's accurate because you can tell with your senses. Like if I say yes, you know, you're at the moment you're watching me and you're breathing. It's like, yep, I am breathing and I am watching you. And, you know, and the grass is green and that. And it's like, yep. So if I tell you enough of that, then the conscious critical mind, which is the bouncer at the nightclub, just taps out. This is how hypnosis works. You see the clever language patterns. And you immediately start to assume that everything I'm saying is therefore a truth. And then you're more willing to take on alternative perceptions and truths that might not have as much evidence to back them up, but it makes a lot of sense in light of the other evidence that I have given. And this is how you paint a whole new story that your mind, your conscious mind can accept, and therefore your subconscious mind can fully accept. You see why I love hypnosis so much, how powerful it is when you know how it works. But yeah, what is your perception? What is your story? Your story is everything. And your story has been painted by the lens that you're wearing at the moment, the assumptions and beliefs that you had. I just realized I've got to keep an eye on the time because I've got a client in about half an hour. It's been really fun to hang out with you guys. Do you know, I realized I haven't done a live session for a long time. Well, New Year's, wasn't it? Or was it Guy Fawkes night? Or maybe it was New Year's. Oh, I remember because it was fireworks. And I had like, it gave me a heart attack and Coco jumped. It was like loud. It was so loud. Oh, Newsy. I love that for you, darling. Chan. Athena, I joined your oh, Jessie, I joined your Discord today. So with the, what's that, second party, did you say? Or is that like third party who smirks at me a lot? Or I get the opposite reaction. You can tell she feels very insecure in my presence at work. Wow. I can't help but my positive, as you say. So I'm thinking, Jesse, you see how you've interpreted this? It's like, I'm not in competition with this person. They're insecure in my presence. I have such a strong presence and such confidence that they feel insecure enough to be jealous, or they feel insecure enough to be a certain way about me, to, because why, they have no reason to be nasty. People have no reason to be nasty to you, but it's the lens, the perception that they've got created. It's their own lens. That's why it's their problem. It's not yours.
Have you
Hello,
lost
baby.
an earring?
I thought you were going to say, have you lost your mind? It's like, well,
Guess what I found
yes.
on my walk today?
What?
An earring. And then guess what I found again?
Oh
Another
my God.
earring.
They look like my.
How weird is that?
They're
like not
my
just
earrings,
one,
but they're not my earring.
I wonder why. What did I manifest? Obviously it's manifested. I'm gonna put them back then.
Yeah,
I was like, if I found them in a most random place.
I did. That's so weird. I did set an intention that I would find my jewelry. Do you remember that? I had lost a couple of bits of jewelry, and I didn't realize that I had put it in my pants, as you guys call it, my pants.
How am I gonna get in? You have this thing.
Yeah, I know. I put it on because I thought that the feed would stop here. I will lift it up.
Very good. Beanie, I'm gonna sit on you, buddy. Tell him.
Beanie.
Bean, come get some coffee.
Come here, baby. He's having a little, little stretch.
Stretchy stretch. Oh, come on. Come.
Come.
There we go.
Oh, the family is here.
Bean, I'm gonna use you as a cup holder, though. Okay.
That's really good.
Hello, sir.
How you doing, honey?
Beanie. Hello, hello.
Did you have a good nap?
Long time no see, guys. Where you been?
It's so good, isn't it? Like the whole gang is here. Joyce has been very, very busy. We've been working on some stuff, some more advanced level manifestations. Obviously, those of you in the Discord, particularly in the group sessions, have been privy to a lot of the stuff we've been working on, and have actually been subjects to some of it as well, unbeknownst to many of them.
Well, hello, big fan.
Ah, big fan. Newsy.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I know.
All up in my grill.
Bean is
baby. He's trying to climb on my shoulder.
Bean is Joseph's biggest fan.
Besides you, actually, obviously.
He's just sat on my arm. Thank you, baby. Well, I was going to share with them some of the. Well, we could share a couple of the thought transmission stuff. We're going to do a video on that anyway, and we'll share some of the thought transmission stuff we've experienced. But was there anything you wanted to? But so I'm manifesting marriage with my SP, but currently due to the bridge, we had a fallout and I cut contact. So I want him to apologize. How do I go about? Do I still go to the end? Absolutely.
Nosy, that's awesome.
Because, darling, if you start manifesting, if you put all your focus together on an apology, you will get that. And that's all you will get. I mean, I've manifested that before. I've manifested, yes, they come back and apologize. And they did. We're still friends to this day. The apology was great. I mean, I didn't want a relationship with them, though. That's the thing. It depends what you want. Always go to the end. That's why I said I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to share that success story from that lady, because it's a valuable lesson. First of all, it's an incredible love story. It spans decades. You won't believe. I mean, it's just, I was reading it. I was just like, I read it out to you. Do you remember the lady that said she was in her 50s and her SP was the guy that they had gotten together in their teens?
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of those stories that was like, yeah. Then it was like, oh, no.
There's been a lot of SP people manifesting. I mean, successful SP manifestations occurring lately. Yes.
We had 3 people in our group who synchronized, and their unfolding is like happening at the same time. They all ended up at SP's house after years of no contact or years of separation or third parties and stuff. I was like, it's synchronizing like how women synchronize, It's really interesting. Do you think that's a thing? That people's manifestations can synchronize?
I know for a fact. Absolutely. Really? 100%. 100%. Yeah. You'll see like what do I call it? I usually call it something. I forget. There's a word that not like like hive, but like there's like little replicating pockets that occur just over and over. Yeah, you'll see like 3, 4 people manifest at the exact same time, for sure. For
I
sure.
wonder if we affect each other then, because I've noticed our group, they all seem to be manifesting like movement and stuff. I don't know. It's like, it was just weird how especially 3 of them got the same unfolding,
Totally.
right? At the
Totally.
same time. Was that manifesting for a year consciously, sincerely, no movement? New Logic says there's no parallel realities. Please guide. New Logic?
Well, let me just put it like this. A year, although that is stressful, obviously, that is not uncommon. I mean, it's not like there's nothing out of what you've just said that has made me think like, oh no, you're in trouble. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, bottom line, time in and of itself is very subjective because you have to consider. I mean, just a little logic. If you go through this logical exercise, it might help you, which would be to think of what it takes for a person. I mean, I'm assuming your manifestation, I think you just said it's like a specific person. Did they just say that? That's my assumption,
Yeah.
is anyway. You consider what it takes for a person to say, give their heart away fully and want to get married, right? Say you go from a position where that is not how you feel. Actually, put it this way. Say I wanted to manifest you, right? Put it in that context right now. And you're fully set on someone. Like you're literally manifesting someone. But now say I want to manifest you. What would it take for you to become that person that would be okay with me manifesting you? Like literally put yourself in that position momentarily and think, well, wait a second. Well, like I didn't have Joseph on my mind at all, right? Even say, yeah, like Joseph's dating Athena, like all of those things. What would it take for the universe to force you into a position where you felt it was natural, by the way? You didn't feel any force. It was a natural chain of events that caused you to not only want to be with me, but then want to be married to me. So consider that's the way that manifestation works. It happens in a natural way. It always happens in a way which is going to feel natural to all people involved. So when you consider that, it makes it a lot, and you got to realize what would have to happen. Think of all the stuff in your life that would have to change, all the stuff in my life that would have to change. Think of just think of all of that. And then you would start to see like things. Some people it's instant, literally. Some people their end comes like so fast, like within a day. And you're like, what the hell? And then like even me, I'm like, what the hell, man? How come they got their manifestation in 3 days, or one day? And it almost makes you compare and say, what am I doing wrong? But I've had manifestations take 1 millisecond, and then I've had manifestations take 5 years. And there's nothing wrong that I've done. You could do the same thing with both manifestations. And it just is the way that the bridge is unfolding.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've had clients and stuff, they've been in no contact for years.
Everybody wants to be with Joseph.
Yeah.
Right. Manifestation instant.
How many manifested this face? I didn't even think about that when I imagined you. It was literally like, I didn't even think about that. It was literally just, let me just imagine this sweet little face.
Right.
But yeah, don't be put off by time. I know that it's a difficult one, isn't it? The time element of it. And this idea of no movement. I'm getting one of our lovely lasses who is a success already. But she was like no contact for a couple of years. In that time, there was so much movement, but it was all behind the scenes. She didn't know. And this is the biggest mistake. This is what I shared with you guys about my own successes. Like even with Joseph, from the moment that I imagined him or the moment that he wrote his list, because we don't know which one came first, we had what, 4 or 5 years of a bridge of events. And in that time, I had absolutely nothing to say that this was even going to come to fruition. I'd forgotten about it, in fact. So I had no resistance at all, changed my state, because you'll get people as well who will make judgments if it's not other coaches, I think that some of them are judging even that if you haven't got it within 21 days, you're doing something wrong. But actually, I would challenge that if someone ever says that to you, because even like some of the coaches who actually practice what they preach, which is rare, but a couple of them, if you notice, they've gone from rags to riches. Like some of them are self-made millionaires now. It took them a few years. So one of them openly shares his journey. It took 7 years. It took 7 years for his imaginal act to come true. Right? It's not that he did anything wrong. It's not that he's not good at
Right.
it. He's obviously successful, but that was his bridge of events, right? There was so many moving pieces to the puzzle, and they do unfold naturally. So if you've got one person, you've got hundreds of people that need to be moved, they will be moved. But you have to understand that each of you has an intention, and you've got layers to that intention as well. It's not just that you want your SP back. It's like you want your SP back and you want the relationship this time to be a certain way and to be married and to be. So there's all these moving pieces to take into account as well. You don't want them quick, you want them right. You want it for keeps, right?
Well, that's a thing too. Imagine you just suddenly, like, as fast as someone can switch their mind, they can switch their mind back. So you need that bridge. You want that bridge. You want all of those pieces to perfectly stack up against what you are asking for. To put the, I mean, in one way, it's like putting the manifestations back up against the wall so that it can't just turn around and run the other way. You know, you want like checkmate. So all those strategic movements have played their perfect role. So everything aligns in a permanent way. And that's what the bridge is for. You know, this is so funny. I'm just like watching this, and then there's, I don't know if you saw that. Anyway,
so much action. Everyone's got questions. And like I say, guys, you know, we do these live sessions every week on our Discord. Everyone gets to ask a question on those lives. So if I don't get to answer, don't worry. You know, you've got that.
Let me say about the parallel thing real fast. I'll keep it real brief. There are many ways to perceive manifestation, but I think one of the incorrect perceptions, like, so when we imagine, we go into a place where all things exist now, right? You go to the wish fulfilled. There are infinite dimensions. In the Bible, it says, "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. When I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also." This is referring to in imagination. You go to the dimension that you seek. But that's in imagination. That's in a world where all things can exist now. Not all things can exist in this world at the same time. We're in the world of time and space. But when we go there in imagination, we mark that for delivery. And what happens is this reality undergoes change, undergoes time. Time is good so that we can experience change. And we change from this reality to that reality. And that reality blends itself seamlessly into the grand reality. And so you have these infinite realities, whatever. These are all the endings of the movies that you wish to experience. And you can go there, you can see the end in and of itself and say, that's what I want. That's the movie I want to experience. And you click that in imagination, you mark that for delivery, and then where you just went in imagination is where you will go. That's what it's saying in scripture, but it's in this one major reality, and that where all things exist has to blend seamlessly into this one. That's how it works. So it's a little bit different than saying there's a million co-occurring dimensions. And you know what? The thing is you can't prove it because we can't be aware of two things at the same time. I can't be aware of two dimensions, but what I do know is I've only just been aware of this one singular dimension, and I do know that all of my friends and family and loved ones exist in this one dimension as well. So what I can say is you imagine that thing and then it gets blended into this major. We can experience that. So that's the way I perceive it. That's the way I understand it. That's the way I've seen it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think those parallel realities, where people say there's a million different versions of you, me, and stuff. And it's like, how can that be? And how are they all existing? And if there's a million different versions of my SP, but I take it as it's all in existence within. You're revealing
Right.
that rather than there's a million physical different
That's right.
versions in existence.
Right. And that's what it says in the Bible, and that's what it says in the Hindu texts, and that's what it says in the Buddhist texts. And I do believe even in quantum physics, that's what it says. But what people, I think, mistake it, the non-scientific minds, the manifestation teachers, is they literally take the analogy as the literal truth. But really, those are just analogies to describe the quantum state, which is in imagination. That's in mind. That's where they exist.
So hopefully that will help those of you feeling kind of logic minded. That makes a bit more sense. Love when Joseph shares scripture. So is it possible to get so accepting about only having your manifestation in imagination that the universe thinks that an imaginary situation is all you want and not give you the 3D experience?
I've had that anxiety a million times. It's so funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Connor actually in our group brought this up the other day. I think, was it in the Q&A? It might have been in the Q&A. Point is no, you will not only experience in imagination the thing that you want. It has to be materialized. So that's something you can take to the bank 100% of the time. It will not just be experienced in imagination. There literally is a process. In imagination is selecting a seed and you're planting a seed. That's not the real experience. And your subconscious knows the difference for sure. There's a whole mechanistic process. You're planting a seed in imagination, and then it has to grow in time space, in physicality. Thanks for letting me share.
My walking Bible.
But I had that anxiety for a long time, and I had to test it. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. It was an anxiety. I was like, oh no.
I mean, everything actually that I've experienced in imagination. Having said that, though, not exactly as I've imagined it, the experience did manifest. Because obviously, I imagine a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to get with the Elf King from The Hobbit, for example, but I imagined that a million
That's what
times.
you think.
And then you became my Elf King.
Right.
Literally, he reflected everything that I had imagined. The experience I got in imagination was exactly what happened with him. Same with the Morticia and Gomez Adams experience. So, and we'll just miss talking to my SP in the 3D, and I wish I could share things. Yeah, I get you, hun. I get you. And that sort of missing them in the interim where you're really feeling the separation is very, very natural. And I just say that it gets easier with time. And also, I always bridge the gap with reminding myself that we are all one, reminding myself, connecting with them, having inner conversations as well, testing out with other manifestations and other people too, to see how connected we are. Jinica, was it Australia Aboriginal? Oh, it's so lovely to meet you, darling. Welcome all the way from the land down under. Should we imagine or SP to be in the state to be ready for our manifestation of the end? Oh, so should we imagine our SP to be in the state to be ready? Well, you know what, Eddie, you are going to, whatever you're imagining is that you're already in the relationship. So that implies you can't determine how it's going to happen. Sometimes they come back and you're part of that bridge to them still shifting and getting into that relationship. It's not like they come back and suddenly you're getting married and everything's perfect. Sometimes that does happen, but not all bridges unfold in the same way. But you've already imagined your end. That's why it's important to go to the end. It's like, right, we've got a relationship, we've got that commitment. Then I know that even if they come in slow, even if they come in with piecemeal communication to begin with, that I know that this is developing. You are welcome, darling. Hey, Babsy, she's here. Hi, Bob.
Barb's
welcome. Here? Yeah, there's there.
Barb, missed you yesterday.
Yeah, Bob, we missed you, darling. We did an imaginal act for you, babe.
Yes, we did.
Barb, you are well protected. You don't even realize it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
Can't wait to talk to you on Sunday, Athena. You're the best explaining everything. Oh, bless you. I cannot wait to see you too, baby. Is it Sunday? Do we have a one-to-one or do we have, is it my Sunday session with you guys? Oh wow, so relieved. I was getting so worried not to see Joseph.
Reading too much Reddit, huh? That's what I'm thinking.
Joseph is you're an enigma a little bit,
You know,
aren't you?
the thing is I think people they just don't know that YouTube is a very small portion of the work that I do. You know, usually what I'm doing is either experimenting or building stuff and testing. And then once I've got something concrete is when I binge out on YouTube videos and then I just disappear into the midst. You're right.
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
you shared everything you knew about Neville Goddard and manifesting, and now he's gone into the next level of manifestation. And
Right.
when you said, I know you said to me that you were like obsessive with Neville Goddard, you studied it all, broke it down, and that's why no one can really explain it the way that you do. But then you've kind of, I suppose, burnt that out now. It's like, okay, now I've done that, what's next? So now I see, now I've actually witnessed firsthand essentially how this boy gets when he's discovered something new. It's like a kid with a new toy to the extreme.
Yeah.
But when he says he tests things, he's not joking. He's not joking.
All for the best, guys. All for you guys, really. You know, it's all for manifesting.
But that's what we've been doing, isn't it, with the like thought transmission stuff?
Yep.
Did we want to share a couple of it with them?
I'm trying to think. I thought I just had something. It was just on my mind with regards to that. I was thinking about with the dream that I had last night. Even that was a different style of thought transmission, but of these psychic dreams that I've been having repeatedly. We've also been practicing transmitting thoughts to each other. My favorite one was sending you a thought in the mail or whatever that was. I sent you delivery.
He sent me a thought in the mail. So we went for food and he said, I'm going to send you a thought. What did you say? I'm going to receive it later.
You'll receive it later.
He said, I'm going to receive it later. So I was like, all right. So I just like opened myself. I didn't feel anything.
Hours later, by the way. Yeah.
Hours later, I received the message. And I think it was when we were sort of laying in bed and then we were both tired and relaxed. And you said,
well,
you said, what did you say? You said, oh, I sent you that message.
So what happened was, Jesus, choking on someone. Okay. You would think that I would have learned in my 35 years how to take a sip.
See?
So what happened was I sent the message and then it wasn't until later when we were laying in bed that she was like, okay, send me a message now. So she forgot that I had sent her a message, but I was like, okay, but I didn't send anything. I knew. I was like, now's the time, watch. And she goes, did you just send me a spoon? And I was like, ha, I said, remember hours ago at the restaurant when I told you I was going to send you a thought delivery? It was perfect. She got the exact image that I sent her.
You know what's really funny, actually? The way that when you do like a thought transmission or send an image to someone, that it doesn't necessarily come up the full image. So it's like my interpretation of what he had seen. So he had seen a spoon that was bent, and I saw it as a spoon, and I thought, that's a bendable spoon. I just thought Uri Geller. That's what came to my mind. It was Uri Geller and spoon. And for those of you who don't know, Uri Geller is the famous... He would bend spoons with his mind, essentially. How many of you heard of Uri Geller, actually? I know he was big when I was...
I had never heard of him until later.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
Yeah, he only just heard of him. You never heard of him before.
Yeah.
And I tested Joseph with a very specific vision that I sent him. This is how specific this vision was, right? So I sent him an image of... It was a cat... and it was a rainbow cat. So it was weird, right? So it's a cartoon cat I had in my mind, and it had like rainbow colors on the outside fading into white in the middle. So sort of gradient sort of color. And so when you started off guessing what it was, because you got it immediately. And again, it was when we were both relaxed. We weren't trying to force anything, but I just saw it. I kept seeing it. I kept seeing the image. I saw that it was a cat, saw it very clearly. And then I thought, meow, meow in my head. So I was like, let me put some sounds to it. Let me put the writing cat underneath. And then I felt it like send to you. I just sent it to you. And at that moment, you started to say things like, right, I'm getting clouds. So I thought, okay, that's the white of the cat. Then he said, oh, rainbows. And I thought, okay. And then you mentioned gradient. You said, I'm getting like gradient colors.
Yes,
right?
that's what it was looking like. I can still picture it in my mind.
And then what did you say? You said,
and then all of a sudden, a clear as day cartoon popped into my vision on the bottom left-hand side of my vision, clear as day. And I go, oh, a cat! It's a cat! And it was like no doubt at all in my mind whatsoever. And she was like, oh my god!
it was so spot on, because it was like cat, cartoon, rainbow colored gradients. You see, that's how specific it was. He picked up on all of it. And although it was like pieces of the puzzle coming together, you at first did think it was a mouse, because your first thing you said was mouse. And then you went like, no, cat.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yes.
Like, is it a mouse?
And then I looked with my inner eye down to the left to see it clear, and I was like, a cat. It's really strange how it appeared in the bottom left of my imagination. Whereas my inner eye, your third eye, you wouldn't even think the fact that you can point your third eye. That's how it was.
That is so interesting. You know that the third eye, you pointed it to the left, right? Well, the left hemisphere of the brain, would that be them? Because I always get the left and the right hemispheres wrong, but I'm just like, is that where imagination is accessed from?
It could be.
So it was like, let me look to that side, and then
it could be.
Saw it. We'll definitely make some more videos about thought transmission. Like I said, I've been testing it.
Yeah, we're going to be, trust me, we're going to be doing a lot
about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to fob you off with the whole, they're thinking whatever you're thinking, whatever you assume they're thinking. It's really oversimplified it. And I don't think many people really believe that. So we're trying it, we're testing it. I have sent messages to my clients. I've been like, okay, picked a client in my mind, and I sent a sort of thought transmission. I was just like, you've got a success to share, or you've got something to share with me. Like, share with me your success. I don't know. I just picked her random, haven't seen her for God knows how long, haven't spoken to her in ages, maybe a year, maybe over a year, something like that. I kid you not, the next day she messages me. She says to me, I thought of you, and I thought, do you know what? I think that maybe Athena would like an update from me. That's what she said. I think Athena would like an update from me, and she would like to be updated on my success. And then literally she left me her story and her success, that her SP came back. She's one who ended up changing her mind though. SP came back, she changed her mind, and now she's met her ultimate person, this Kundalini master or something. I don't really know too much about that, but let's just say she's having the time of her life. So yeah, it was just so weird. It was like, share with me, and then she did, and I've done that with a few of them now.
Prem, I just wanted to, because he sent a message.
Where?
Oh, is this it right here? Yeah, right here. And it was just this. First of all, you're welcome. I'm glad. She's he. I love you both so much. I manifested so much in my life because of Joseph. Thank you so much. I want to manifest one person. I know her. Please give me some suggestions. I'm trying so much. It's just imagining the end and letting go.
Prem, you are an angel, darling.
Like, sincerely, it's. I know that it might seem hard or different, and specific people are it. That is the category that appears to be the most stressful and strenuous and difficult at times, and it can be because you're dealing with matters of the heart.
Agreed.
It's the same thing. The key is just to be cool, right? Be cool as a fan, cool like Joseph, and then you imagine the end and just be cool as a fan, and like try to live life presently. In the present moment is the key that I think for me is what changed my life when it comes to manifesting a specific person, because of how stressful or anxious that can become.
Yeah, it's because of like heartbreak, and nothing drives us more than love. But as painful as the SP journey is, it's one of the most rewarding you will get on, and it goes so much deeper than, it's not even about your SP. It's about everything that you discover about yourself, the strength that you get, getting in touch with what it is that you truly want in a relationship. Because for a lot of you, you're running on autopilot. That's why you end up dating the same person but with a different face every time. It's because you're running on this autopiloted list and assumptions. But when you come across the law, it's inviting you to change it and to break those patterns. But Prem, as Joseph said, go to your end, embody that. But a lot of you are imagining and going to your end with the wrong intention. Remember, it's not what you do, It's the intention behind it. If your intention is, I'm going to imagine this to get my SP, then I'm not really getting into the imaginal act. I'm not experiencing it for the right reasons. And then I end up checking the 3D to see, is it working? It hasn't worked yet. You know, remember, you're doing it just to gift yourself an experience because you can, because it feels good, because you know that imagination is the creative source. You're doing it to change yourself, not to try and get them. And that will help you with resistance.
Right. When imagining, just be in the scene. You're not doing this for some purpose. Just right on.
Oh, look, here she is. Mo, hi. From New Zealand. I didn't know you were from New Zealand, hun. I sent
Oh,
you the
that's
email of my story.
right.
I'm the 55-year-old who met her childhood sweetheart. After 38 years, we reconnected. Here she is. Here she is,
There's the
guys.
one.
This is the one I was telling you about. So thank you again, Mo, for sharing your beautiful story with us. And I know that you very graciously have given me permission to share your email with the community, which I will do. Because I was sharing how, you know what happened. You know why it didn't go further. And now you're going to go to the end. But you've got so much strength now because you have seen that everything that you had imagined and scripted out came to be. Everything. And it was against all odds. They had so many years of separation, so many years of no contact, so many years of back and forth. It's something that just seemed so impossible. Their lives had gone so much the other way, both getting married, both having families, both like distance. They're like getting further and further apart. But there is no distance, guys. There is no separation. And her story proves that.
Let me answer this quickly by Dominique. It says, I get confused as Neville told us to keep imagining, then to imagine once.
Good question.
Yeah. So, the best way, if you're confused about what Neville has said, look at the dates from which he wrote that book that you're reading it from, or the lecture that was had, and you're gonna want to place more precedent in the later. Look at this guy, man. He's got his tongue in my mouth, and look at this. He literally.
This is what Bean does all the time.
Literally,
it's not enough to be. He won't be on Joseph's
He wants to
lap.
crawl in me.
He wants to practically be inside Joseph. He loves him. He loves him so much. I'm your mother. You know that.
Good boy. You're such a good boy. So the answer is you only have to imagine once. Actually, let's even put it in a more simple way. It has nothing to do with imagining it once or imagining it a million times. It has to do with imagining it effectively. Once you imagine it effectively, it does not have to happen again. So in other words, in many cases, people have to train their imagination and repeat a scene a few times in order for it to become effective. And effective would just mean that you can play it through, you can feel it correctly, you can experience it. You don't have to think to yourself, oh, let me add this detail and that detail. Oh no, my mind wandered away. It has to be a very fluid scene. And once you experience it in that way, which could be once if you do it properly, then you don't have to do it again. That's the simple way. And if you're confused, because listen, I'll just be brutally honest. The majority of people who are talking about Neville have no idea what they're talking about. It's just the popular thing to do. So if you yourself, as someone who has obsessively studied Neville, one of the keys that I have discovered with him is look at the dates. His later lectures are more experienced and they align with what I have personally experienced. So in other words, as he grew in his career, he got better. And as he got better at manifesting. And as he got better at manifesting, he understood more. And as he understood more, he taught more clearly, more accurately. So that's your secret weapon, is look at the dates. And his books, although excellent, are very early in his career. So you will find a lot of things that he changes later. So I know it might be hard to hear. It might be a little bit, give a little bit of anxiety for those who are, getting into this. And let me put it this way. 97% of what he says is not going to be changed. There will be slight nuances, and the answers are there. Just remember what I said, and that's it.
It's a really important lesson, huh? Little Bean has the longest tongue.
He does.
Everyone says that about Bean. I've never had a dog before, so I have no tongue comparisons, but apparently he has quite a long one, this boy. Been blessed. Don't know what he uses it for, the eating food. Barb, listen to these two awesome people. Life-changing help and support and expertise. Bless you, Barb. We love you, Barb.
Looks like I have a bib on.
Yes, you've got the beanie bib. That's what he is. That's why you could eat food right now. And you know, who needs a scarf, right?
No,
You've got your own scarf, right?
A yawning scarf.
So
This guy, he's just up in our grill. Like, what the?
This is every night. He's like that. He has to be a little part of a little part of him has to be. Well, he has to be like this on Joseph, practically like, you know, on his chest,
literally.
and then he has to be touching me or leaning on me or something to spread out across us. Powerful. So I didn't know that he was married when I started dating him for 3 months, and I started loving him, and we're still in a relationship now. So I mean, it's flowing then towards you, isn't it, Powerful? So I've got another client who's in a similar situation to you as well, and I just said, well, you're in a really powerful situation then in that case. Obviously, the relationship, this marriage is obviously then broken. And so what makes you think that you're not being chosen? You know, how are you perceiving this? That's very much what she was doing. When I changed her perception, she messaged me the next day. She was like, he's gone ahead and he's talking to divorce lawyers now. They've been in this limbo for a long time and stuff. And it was literally because she could not see that she was being chosen. She made the third party bigger, but their relationship was over anyway. It was over, but she was so fixated on that. She was so fixated on being the third party rather than being the chosen. And when we change that dynamic, now everything is changing to become that.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
About what someone else said here. So I've heard this lately about Neville. So there's a few channels who they will share Neville, but what has happened is they share Neville incorrectly. And then when they're challenged, they will say, well, Neville was just a man. He had limiting beliefs. There is no bridge of incidents, like all of this stuff, right? So the reason I say that is because of a comment that just arose here. So Neville Goddard did have divine inspiration straight from the source and mystical experiences. I've had the same ones. Like, he is the absolute truth. Everything he says is systematically proven to be true. So he was a human, though. So you're absolutely right. He has limiting beliefs. But I do want to clarify, in case you're reiterating one of what these other coaches are saying when they're challenged. And I'll tell you a story about this, just because I don't really care. There was someone, no, she had a video that was automatically ended up playing. So like, she was watching something and then walked away, and then the video came on, and it was from one of these other coaches. And this other coach started talking about imagining over and over and over, and affirming robotically, and then saying Neville said to do this, Neville said to do this. So I just commented and I said, stop sharing this. This is false and completely false. You don't know what you're talking about, basically. And this is a person with massive subscribers who is sharing these lies to people and therefore teaching them the wrong things simply so that they can get views, right? In my mind, Neville is different than just a source of subscribers and views. If you've watched my channel, then you would know that. So when I said that, though, her response was, well, Neville was just a man. Neville had limiting beliefs as well. So when she was called out on not knowing what she was talking about, her response was, Neville was just a man.
Blame Neville.
Blame Neville for her lack of understanding manifesting. So be careful when you say things like Neville was just a human like us with limiting beliefs, because he has the absolute truth systematically. Everything that he has taught is systematically proven 100% correct. And don't let anyone fool you through their lack of understanding. Like, one big one is the believing thing, law of belief. These people confuse the law of belief with the law of assumption. They say whatever you believe to be true will become true. And they think that's Neville. That has nothing to do with Neville. That's Joseph Murphy. but they don't understand that. They don't really get that at all. And yet they talk like they do. So again, be very careful and mindful of who you listen to and who is simply sharing this for views, for popularity, or for money. Because the odds are is they don't know what they're talking
It's
about.
sad because Neville's teachings have been so valuable. I mean, I started with Neville and then I went around the houses with law of attraction. I got sucked into law of attraction, then came as well back to Neville, full circle. So I knew everything that I had manifested through Neville's teachings came true. All the SPs, the house, the car, the money, like the job, the career, like anything I had manifested through Neville's teachings all came true. And then we all find our own way that it works for us and our own methods. But yeah, I think it was the videos as well that say Neville said you can manifest in 3 days. 3 days to manifest something, which again was taken out of context and very misunderstood. And it was like, well, what about the things that you manifest instantly? What about the things that take less than 3 days? What about the things that take longer than 3 days? What about if I want to manifest a baby? Am I going to give birth in 3 days? You know what I mean? Like no one actually thinks to actually, well, logically, can we just talk about this? I don't think that's what Neville was saying. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think I've realized that I have to go for my session. I don't want to leave you guys. It's been so much fun, but I got a client now. I'm actually running a bit late. So
guys, it's been a pleasure hanging with you for real. Just keep imagining. Thanks for having me on here, sweetheart.
Oh, even Constance came across that as well.
I'm getting sweating with Bean over here. He is freaking.
Bean gives off all the heat.
The warmest coat.
But I've also got like the little sort of blanket and stuff. I like being cozy. Guys, you've been awesome. Thank you for making my Friday so wonderful. You know, I love to hang out with you all. And like I said, we've got the Discord. You know, questions that you want to ask, there's the Neville bot. Even if you're an introvert, you can talk to the Neville bot privately. You don't have to throw out all of your secrets and stuff in front of everybody on the chat. A lot of my clients, like I say, literally just watch the chat. They're quite introverted. There's quite a few of them who are success stories who are in there as well. And you know, if you want to ask questions about how they did it and stuff, you know, you can talk to Neville. He's your 24/7 support. It's the most accurate thing. He's been a game changer. All of you guys on the Discord have been saying, you all know it. Thank you so much as well to the Discordians who are here. Thank you so much to those of you on my channel for always being amazing. Believing you can't, oh really, Constance, what, believing you can't have a baby in 3 days is a limiting belief? Wow. Wow, I've never heard that before. What about bringing people back from the dead? I have heard that there's some coaches teaching that as well. I don't know how the message of manifestation has gotten so warped, but I can understand why it's getting such a bad name, which is very, very sad because, well, you guys know anyway, it's incredible when you harness it correctly. Bean, will you stop taking it out on the sofa, baby? Huh? Come and say goodbye to everybody. We all love you. Daddy Neville. I love that we call him Daddy Neville. I know it sounds a little bit dominatrix. He sounds a bit like he's a dom. He's not a dom. He can be if you want him to be, though. But yeah, and all the links to joining to my website, to that, it's all in the description box of my videos. I try to share it on every video that I post. Message me in the comments, keep me posted. I'm going to try my best to do more videos. You guys are keeping me so busy. And if you have emailed me, please give me a few days or a week to get back to you, because I answer every single one of you, and you can imagine how long it takes for me to get through all of those. We love you guys. Go and enjoy your weekend. Remember how powerful you are. You're not becoming powerful. You already are powerful. So don't worry about the techniques. If you imagine, do it because it feels good, but just accept that you are it now, because you can manifest with a strong decision. That's what you've always been doing, right? Love you all. Big hugs and kisses. Catch you next time. Bye-bye for now. I don't know how to come off this. Oh, yes. Is that it? Me and technology. I don't know how to end it. Love you guys. All the best. Take care.